Alright, I'm going to go over the anniversary in its entirety, and I'm also going to give my opinion on whether this anniversary was good, whether it saved the game, and also how well the game is doing right now, right? Now, before I show you the stats, how much DISLYTE is making and the downloads and everything, my honest opinion and from my experience, this anniversary is the worst. It's not one of the worst. It is the absolute worst anniversary of any games that I have played. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the lack of content. So during the anniversary, we got a new content, which is, you know, the burning beat rave. So the meta era patch, we got a new game mode, which is the burning beat rave. It's not really a new content, to be honest with you. And we also got another one, which was the mine invasion, where you would fight off Sonica, right? And then the top 50 would get a new frame. I don't have the new frame because in order to get to top 50, you would need R4 meta era. So I didn't get the frame. It's not really a fun content to begin with. It's absolutely piss easy if you have the right units. And then during the seed content, we basically just got a regurgitated content, right? Memory Rift and also the Burning Beat Trials. The only difference with this content is going to be the buffs that they give you. And yeah, that's about it really. There's no really new content. But in terms of free stuff, they did give a lot of free stuff because during the meta era patch, we did get the free legendary shimmer. So the free stuff is there, right? The free stuff is very good. So that's my first point. There's barely any content. The mine invasion was a flop. The burning beat, whatever it is, burning beat trials is also a flop. And my next point, the anniversary unit being meta era and also seek is paid only. So in most games, when they release a major celebration, like for example anniversary, they would make it so that the new unit is obtainable with the free currency that they give you, right? Even if you just started the game, you do your stories and everything, you do a little bit of towers or whatever it is, you will be able to get that unit at least at one copy or even multiple copies, right? With DISLYTE's anniversary, you can only get meta era from the designated summons, which if you are a new player, you can only get her R0. If you are really lucky, then you might get her R1, right? If you don't spend anything. And then there's also C, which costs 60,000 crystals to even just get one copy of him. And his R0 kit is absolutely garbage. If you have an R0 Seek, you almost have no place to use him, outside of maybe like 1 or 2 places in Desolate Lands. That's about it. Now what this does is only those who paid for either Meta Era or Seek is able to have fun. The game lacks content, the game lacks unit as well for Anniversary. And if you're a new player, let me just give you a scenario. You're a new player, you just started the game, you get your keepsakes for Meta Era, you do your content, you use her in Ritual Miracle or in Desolate Lands, you get a very good score. But once you've depleted your story rewards and your towers and everything, you would want to find other ways to get your rewards, right? And then you stumble upon this. So in order to get more rewards, you need to do well in leaderboard content. So this is one of the games that they throw everything into the leaderboard content. And what I don't like is they throw rewards as well in the leaderboard content. So if you're a new player and you want to get more rewards, you would look at this one. So everything is leaderboard and you go back to your teams, you improve your team with your R0 Meta Era, you know, you get a better score or whatever, and then you realize you're not really making a dent on the leaderboard. And when you look at the leaderboard system right here, you go to World Formation and you see an R4 Meta Era that literally like quadruples or double, look at this, 6 billion damage. If you have an R0 Meta Era, you'll be lucky at like 2 billion, even if you have all of the units correctly. So as a new player, you go into the leaderboard, you see an R4 Meta Era doing literally like 6 times or even 10 times more damage than you would with your R0 Meta Era. And the only way that you can get an R4 Meta Era is, again, you have to spend on her. You cannot get her from the natural summons with your crystals or anything. You can only get her from the packs that you have to buy, right? So now you're locked out of more rewards because the rewards are locked with leaderboard content because you don't have R4 Meta Era. And that's just going to kill the vibe for new players. You can't get the new shiny unit with your summons that you get from story or whatever it is. You can only get the R4 Meta Era if you spend. So in the anniversary, this game lacks content. This game lacks new espers that is obtainable from the currency that the game gives you. You have to spend to get the new unit. And also when they do release a unit that can be summoned with your crystals or your wishstone, they release a unit like this one, Bedrun. Who in their right mind, even if you're a new player, you would ask, in the chat, right? Whether Batrun is worth it to summon or not. 99% of the time, in the chat, people are gonna say he's not worth it because of how terrible he is. Nobody in their right mind, whether it be new player, old player, returning player, is gonna be summoning for Batrun, which again, this is the only unit that they've released basically during anniversary. This is not really during anniversary, it's 1 month before that. But basically, this is the only unit that is summonable with your crystals and your wish stones, right? And nobody wants to summon for Batrun because of how terrible he is. He has 0 uses in the content right now. He was usable in knockout because of one of the rules where you could revive multiple times. That's the only reason he was usable, by the way. No new players, returning player, or old-time player is going to be excited when they pull Batrun. And once again, this is the only unit that they've released somewhat during the time period of the anniversary that is summonable with the crystals and also the wish stones. So yeah, that's basically my 2 points. Again, the first point is lack of content, and the second point is the anniversary is only paid only. And my third point is, again, they barely release any unit that is summonable through the wish stones or the crystals, and when they do release it, it's Batrun, right? It's a terrible Esper. Alright, so that's it for my opinion. Again, this is one of the worst anniversary that I've not one of the worst, the worst anniversary that I've ever experienced from a game. But the numbers might mean something else. So before I show you the DISLYTE gacha revenue and also the downloads, let me just go over like the anniversary unit, which is going to be the Meta Era. She was released in May 6th, and she's really good at R0, R1, R2, R3, whatever it is. But she becomes a completely new unit at R4, right? The difference between R4 and R0 Meta Era is like literally double your score. If you run her in Shadowfire at R0 and R4, your score would be 2 million. And then if you have R4 Meta Era, it would be like 4 billion, sorry. And then if you run her in the Falso to Fantasy, it literally opens up a new strategy. If you have an R0 Meta Era, you're not going to be using her for Phobiter and also Darkstalor, because there's not really much teams that can utilize an R0 Meta Era. You can use her for Sonica for Team 1, but the difference between an R0 and R4 Meta Era is absolutely crazy. And if you have R4 Meta Era, then you can use her for Phobiter. She adds like 30 million to Phobiter. And then in Counter Sonica, R4 Meta Era can literally change your Team 1 team. Instead of running a double AP control, you can literally just run one AP control and still do really well. With an R4 Meta Era, you can reach upwards of 400 million in Team 1 Counter Sonica. And for Darkstalor, R4 Meta Era is able to use in Team 1 with Lapis team, which can give you like, I think 50 million plus with your Team 1. So R4 Meta Era is a game changer, right? Now, did she save the game? Did the revenue go up with her release? Unfortunately, it did. It went up like almost double, from 595,000 to 928 million. This is all three of the region, Global, CN, and JP. Look at that. JP went up by 172%. Now, you might say, it's because Meta Era is a paid-only Esper, right? The revenue would go up regardless of whether she's good or not. But when we go to Meta Drew, let me bring him up real quick. Okay, Meta Drew, he is very good at R0. His R2, R4, and R6 are all very good, but they're not as mandatory as R4 Meta Era. R4 Meta Era is a completely new unit. It changes the team around her, whereas Meta Drew's Resonance is not really that impactful. It is impactful, but it doesn't really change the unit that much, right? You're still going to be running him with the same exact team. Again, he's good. R2, R4, and R6 are all good Resonance, but when we look at the revenue, it was released in March and middle of April as well. If we go to the revenue, he barely made any money. It went from 500,000 to 614,000, despite him having very good Resonance. But because his Resonance is not impactful enough, he barely made any money. I'm not going to go through C because he was released in end of May and beginning of June, while this graph only shows you up until May, right? So we don't know the effects of C just yet. Alright, going back to the Meta Era patch, the reason why it made a lot of money is because, again, it's R4, right? If you go to the leaderboard right now, it's filled with R4 Meta Era. And once again, you can only get R4 Meta Era by spending real money. You cannot get her from natural summons or anything. So the whales that have hoard the wish stones will not be able to R6 her with the wish stones, right? So that's the reason why the revenue went up by a significant amount, nearly double. And a lot of players, if you look at the leaderboard, went really ham on Meta Era. Like most people in the leaderboard right now, will have R4 to R6 meta era. And if you don't have meta era at R4, it's like almost impossible for you to compete in leaderboards at this point. Especially for False Auto Fantasy because she is used for all 3 of the bosses. I went from top 3 before meta era was released, from top 3 to barely reaching top 10 at this point. I mean, I'm still able to get like top 100 no problem, but the drop from R4 meta era is absolutely ridiculous. Last week's ranking, I got 41 by the way, because I couldn't be bothered anymore with False Auto Fantasy. Without R4 meta era, I'm just gonna lay low. It's not even worth to try anymore in False Auto Fantasy because of the difference between R4 and R0 meta era. The difference between an R4 and R0 meta era is like literally hundreds and hundreds of million. In Counter Sonica, you can reach upwards of 700 million. With an R0 meta era, you barely reach like 600 million. So that's just one boss. One boss is able to increase the score by 100 million plus. So she's a pay-to-win unit, but unfortunately, if you go to the downloads actually went up. So we went from barely making it to 7,000 to 12,000 at this point. But I think the downloads is mostly attributed to the free shimmer that we get during the meta era patch, which is going to be the limited shimmer Reverbertron, right? Most people will come back into the game because of this free shimmer, not because of meta era. Because again, meta era is only obtainable when you spend on the game. So I think this anniversary was able to get new players or returning players because of this thing alone, this event alone, where you would get a free shimmer legendary. But outside of this one, yeah, this anniversary didn't really have anything. Now I'm gonna go through something very controversial. I'm gonna go through the wish stones, why it was too good for the players, and why it ended up killing the game, and why they're gonna stray away from wish stones for the time being. Now, the wish stones, if you ask any player in the game, they're gonna say that this is a very good feature, right? You can get the new units without spending anything. You can R6 a new unit if you're hoarded enough of these wish stones without even using your go records at all, because you can just go here and then use your wish stones that you've been hoarding up and just get the new unit without any RNG or anything. That's very good. Very, very good for the players. But for the game, it literally killed the game. If you look at the revenue, when they release like any good wish stones unit, the revenue barely went up. I think for Suizai was around this time right here. The revenue barely went up. And Suizai is an R6 unit. But the reason why it barely went up is because whales or even most players would have enough to R6 Suizai without even spending any money. If you ask any whale in the game how much wish stones they have, they would probably be at around 4,000 to 5,000 wish stones. So Lilith would need to release an R6 worthy wish stone unit 10 times in a row to deplete the whale's wish stones. And again, if the whales already have enough wish stones to R6 a unit, then there's no incentive to spend on the game, which is why they've been releasing more paid-only espers, right? It's terrible for the majority of the players, but it is needed for DISLYTE to make some money. If they keep releasing wish stones unit, it's hard for them to make money because a lot of players have been hoarding up a lot of resources, right? Me personally, I have 581, which is enough to R6 the next unit, even after going for R6 Suizai, while not even owning him in the first place. So I had to spend like 580 for Suizai. So as a player, with them releasing Meta Era and Seek and also Meta Drew as a paid-only Esper, it's terrible. But if you look past through that, it's kind of expected because the game is not making any money with wish stones, so they had to come up with other ways, right? With Meta Drew, it's terrible. I'm not gonna say it's a good system, but it makes the game money. This is the only way that they can really make money, with Meta Drew, Meta Era, and Seek being only like pretty much paid only. And some players have been saying just to release skins, right? But they've been trying that. They've been selling skins, and skins don't really make money unless you release like a huge amount of skins. And for them to make new skins that is worthy to spend money on, unlike Leora or Elaine, which is basically just recolor, right? So this Abomination is basically just recolor. If they release this recolor type of skins, the game is not going to make any money because it's terrible, it's ugly as well. But if they release a skin like Drew, like this one for example, they might make money, but majority of players really don't care about skins. If you look at my account, the only skins that I have are the free-to-play that you can get one. And even in this shop right here, which is basically free, right? The skin shop, I don't even have any of them. I don't even have any of the paid ones because it's pointless. I don't really care about skins. Majority of players do not care about skins. Maybe like 10% of players would spend money to get skins, but majority of the players just don't care. And in order for them to make money with skins, they would need to release a barrage of skins that is, again, worthy of spending and not just recolor. And in order to release a barrage of skins, that would take time and also money from them, which they don't have both of those, right? If they take time away, then the game's content is going to suffer. The game is pretty much in the dumpster right now. The game developer has moved on to AFK Journey. I don't even know if the artist for this game is around to make new art. There's probably just one artist in the game that makes the animation for the game, like for new espers and everything. And in order for that one artist to release a barrage of skin, it's gonna take a lot of time and also money as well. Now, while it sounds good to make money from skins, again, it's not really feasible. Most people don't care. I don't care about skins. I'm not gonna spend even $1 for a skin. And if they take time away to be creative and make new skins, that's gonna take away time to develop new content or, you know, whatever it is, right? QOL or whatever it is. So again, I went on a tangent right there. So the only way that they can release money is by releasing a pay-to-win esper that is unobtainable with Wishstones, right? So Meta Era, Seek, Meta Drew. It's terrible for the players, but it is kind of expected. And it's making the money, but a lot of players, and I mean a lot of players, have been quitting the game left and right. In my guild alone, I think there's already like 5 players that have quit, including a Ggez. If you don't know who a Ggez is, he is literally the rank 1 PvE player, but because of this new update with Meta Era and also Seek, he just can't be bothered to compete anymore because in PvE, Seek completely changed APAP, Yinglong, and also Fafnir. If you don't have an R4 Seek, it's kind of impossible for you to compete in these 3 bosses right here. And also with Meta Era as well, right? If you don't have an R4 Meta Era, it's kind of pointless to try compete in Shadowfire. Like 1 billion score is not even top 64. Like, how insane is that? And also for Shadowglow as well. The difference between an R4 and R0 Meta Era is insane. It's almost double the score that you can get. If you look at the leaderboard, he is currently, where is he? He's rank 3 without an R4 Meta Era and also R4 Seek as well. So while these espers are making money for DISLYTE, it's also losing a lot of players, a lot of long-time players, right? Because of how pay-to-win they are. R4 Meta Era and also now with an R4 Seek as well. And the only way that you can get R4 Meta Era in the future is for you to summon for this Nocturne event and get her through the shop. And you would need to spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of crystals just to get 1 copy of Meta Era. How insane is that? Not only do you need to summon for hundreds and thousands of crystals, but the banner is absolutely shit, bro. You have a total of 1 unit that you care to summon in this banner. I don't know how players are content with this one singular unit in a banner that does not give you anything else. 99.9% of the banner is filled with absolute garbage with the epics and also rare, and with the 1% chance that you can pull Seek. I've already mentioned this in my previous video. To make this banner at least worthwhile to summon and somewhat bring thrill to summoning is putting unfeatured espers. Keep the 1% Seek being the featured esper and then 1% on unfeatured espers. Like most games, most gacha games do this. They have 1 or 2 featured espers and then they'll have at least like 10 unfeatured espers. 1% for Seek, 1% for the totality of the unfeatured espers, and then you can put Meta Era in one of those unfeatured espers with like 0.05% to pull her, right? So that way when you summon, you not only get your Seek, which I already mentioned in my previous video, is to put Seek in the 100 PT right here. You put him in the 100 PT, you summon 100 times, you get your R0 Seek or whatever it is, and then in the meantime, during your summons, you can pull Seek at a 1%, and then you can pull 1% for an unfeatured espers. Imagine you summon 100 times and then you get Meta Era. Instead of getting her from this garbage shop which requires you to spend, I don't know, like 200 summons, which costs 120,000 crystals by the way, to get 1 copy of a unit. Instead of getting Meta Era from here, it would be much more thrilling to pull Meta Era unfeatured from this banner right here. It's literally a win-win for the game. The game can sell the banner. Right now, the banner only has 1 unit. So if someone does not care about Seek, they can literally just skip the banner. If you put unfeatured espers in the banner, like Meta Era, if someone does not care about Seek but cares about Meta Era, they can summon on the banner while also getting Seek, and they have the off chance of getting Meta Era as well from the summons itself. It's literally a win-win for the game. And this can help the game increase its revenue as well, because it will make the game more exciting and also side with the players and the game itself. Because let's be honest, Lilith is going to be spamming this type of Espers that's pretty much paid exclusive or Nocturne event, right? Nocturne event is going to be coming around every 3 to 4 months. And then in between those, they're probably going to be releasing meta Espers that is only paid exclusive. Like we already know Meta Oli is going to be coming into the game. Whether it's going to be next patch or the patch after that. There's nothing we can do about this. There's no thrill or excitement when summoning for paid exclusive Espers because you're not even summoning for the unit. You're literally summoning for their keepsake. There is zero thrill in summoning for this. Like I don't even care if I get the thing or not. And if you land at like 7 out of 8 keepsakes, you get nothing. You get literally nothing. So in my opinion, Lilith, if you want to keep releasing meta Espers like this one, or paid exclusive Espers, the one way that you can make it better for the players is, again, change this Nocturne event. Keep the 1% for the featured Esper, or if you are really generous, bump it to 1.5%, and then also the unfeatured Espers at 1.5%, and then put the past paid exclusive Espers in the unfeatured, not just the shop, because this shop, let's be honest with you, it's terrible. Not only does it reset per patch, it also takes 120,000 crystals to even get one unit. That is insane. So yeah, that's about it. Again, my suggestion is going to be 1.5% on the featured Esper, 1.5% on the unfeatured, and then in the unfeatured you can either put Meta Era or whatever it is, right? Just put Meta Era, put like good units to entice people to summon on this Nocturne event, because not only does it give you no wish stones, you don't get any wish stones, you only get the new unit, and when you do get a new unit, you already know what the legendary is going to be. But again, if you put like unfeatured Espers like Meta Era, Meta Liling, like imagine how good the banner is going to look. You have your new Umbra unit at 1.5%, and then you have your unfeatured with Meta Era, Meta Liling, Meta Drew, Sloan, Daji, like any legendary that you pull is going to be good for your account. And then again, you put your featured Esper in the 100 milestone right here. So once you get to 100 summons, you are guaranteed to get one copy of the new unit, and then it will reset to 0 back. So when you do another 100 summons, you'll get your featured Esper, right? That will be way better than the system that we have right now. Alright, before I end the video, I'm just going to show you one thing. This is going to be DISLYTE's anniversary patch. It will take you like, I don't know, like 5, 10, maybe 10 seconds to scroll through. And maybe like 2 minutes to read through the patch, right? This is another game that I've been playing, which is also on their anniversary patch. It's not a perfect game by any means, but it's on its 6th anniversary, which is going to be the 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. This is going to be the anniversary patch, and just look at this. I'm going to put it at full speed. Full speed! Look at how much content there is in the anniversary patch. Let me just slow it down a little bit. There we go. That's probably like, I don't know, 20 pages of stuff in the anniversary patch. And keep in mind, this is only part 1 of the anniversary. There's also part 2 of the anniversary for 7 Deadly Sins. And there's like, I think, 5 minigames in the game right now. You have a fishing minigame. You have a roguelike PvE game. You have a bubble popping thingy, dart minigame, I don't know. And the crazy thing is, I've been spending more time on 7 Deadly Sins minigame than I have on DISLYTE's anniversary. The entire anniversary of DISLYTE. How insane is that? So that's all I want to talk about. And yeah, ciao.